What's up guys, welcome back to another LumaFusion video. In this video we're going to talk all about speed ramping and how you actually make the proper speed ramping in LumaFusion. There is no speed ramping abilities in LumaFusion. There is no controls over keyframing when you go into speed and reverse inside LumaFusion, so we have to do it another way. And it's been like a year now since I made this video right here, and you guys have been asking me ever since how to speed ramp properly in LumaFusion. So it's taken me some time to make this video. I don't know why, probably because I had a lot of stuff on my mind as well. But in this video I'm going to show you exactly how we can speed ramp in LumaFusion without using any curves or any keyframes. So this is the video that I'm going to show you today. This is taken from the video that I made, which was the cinematic B-roll using a smartphone only. And in that video, if you pay attention, you can see that I have a lot of movement to my smartphone as well. So before we jump into LumaFusion, there is some steps that you need to take in consideration before trying to make a speed ramp in LumaFusion. So the first step is that you have to plan out your shot. Most of the YouTubers that you see and most of the filmmakers that you see on YouTube as well, they always plan their shots before they go out filming them. And you can see a lot of filmmakers do this. That includes myself as well. When we are filming, we're planning out the shots that we want to apply a speed ramping to. So meaning that we have to have in mind when we are going out that we're going to film this part of the video. This part of the video is going to include speed ramping or some sort of speed changes to that certain clip. So step one is actually plan out the shots that you need before you want to apply a speed ramp. A speed ramp to a normal clip, filming forward and no motion in the video whatsoever, will not look great even if you apply a speed ramping to it. And as you can see in the video right here, there is some movements inside the video. The camera is going straight forward, but we have the person that turns around. That movement is something that we can turn into a speed ramping or to create an illusion of speed ramping when it comes to LumaFusion. So if you're gonna speed ramp or you're gonna get that speed ramping look in LumaFusion, make sure to have a movement in your clips. So that leaves us with the next stage of creating a speed ramping effect in LumaFusion, and that is movement in your camera. So what you want to do is always move your camera in one direction, and for the best look you need to move it as steady as possible. Having a gimbal will really help you out achieving that smooth camera movement. Even though you shoot in 120 FPS or 100 FPS, there is parts of that video that you need to speed up to create that speed ramping effect. So make sure to film as steady as possible if you want to achieve a good speed ramping look in LumaFusion. The next thing is also to have either the camera moving slow and you have a faster movement to the subject or the object that you are filming. So if we take a look at this clip where we were out testing the freewheel and the filter, the magnetic quick swap system, you can see that I have a lot of movement and I'm going from the left to right, and also my son is going up on the hill, and that gives me the option to create a speed ramp from where he is right at the bottom of the hill until he's on top of the hill. And another good tip, which you probably saw in the B-roll sequence using the smartphone only, following the subject's movements or the object that you want to film can really help you out creating that speed ramp, because then you can apply a less of a speed change to your clips and you might get a better result. So those are the 3 tips that I highly recommend using when you're gonna aim for a speed ramping in LumaFusion. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump over to LumaFusion and I'm gonna show you how you can apply speed ramping by using these techniques. So when we get into LumaFusion and we have the project open, we're just going to import the same video files as you saw in the previous video I used for the cinematic B-roll with a smartphone only. So let's just speed this up and import the clips that we want to use for this speed ramping. So once we got all the clip over to our timeline, what I'm trying to do now is to find a position inside the clip where I want the slow motion to start or the speed ramping to end. This is going to apply at the beginning of the video file, and I really want the slow motion to start right before she opens the tray fully. So what we're gonna do is to find that exact spot and make a cut to the clip. And once we apply that cut to this first clip, we can go over to the last section of this clip as well, and we can find a point where we want the slow motion to end. And what I really want to do to this clip is to make a cut exactly when she grabs the knife and is pulling the knife backwards. And I want to make a cut here because that's the part of the clip that I want sped up so it looks like a speed ramp effect. So once we've done that, the next thing I want to do is to go into edit on the first clip. This I want sped up, so we're going to go to speed and reverse, and I'm going to choose the speed of 3 times the speed. So this is approximately 300% faster. And going out to the timeline again, I want to apply the slow motion effect to the clip in the middle. So here we're going to change the speed to 1/4. So the next thing is to go over to the last clip and then to change the speed to around 1.75, or which speed is necessary to create that speed ramping look for your videos. This also depends on how much movement you have in your video, and the more movement, the less speed changes you have to apply. So moving over to the next clip, this is a clip where the knife is about to hit the cucumber. And as you see here, we have quite some movement in the beginning of the clip and at the end of the clip. So what I want to do here is to find a position where the knife is at its highest point and then make a cut to the clip. The next thing I want to do is to go further to the end of the clip and make a cut to the clip when the knife is on its way down. And then we want to go over to the middle part of this clip and change the speed to 1/4 to create that slow motion effect. The reason why I choose 1/4 is because I filmed this in 120 FPS on my iPhone XS Max, which allows me to apply a slow motion effect to it. The next thing we want to do is to go over to the clip which is at the beginning of this one and increase the speed to 1.25, or the speed which is necessary for your clip. The next thing is to go to the last part of the clip and we're going to change the speed to 1.25. So I'm going to show you one final example here, and this is from the footage which was at the end of the video where she's taking the cucumbers to the sink to wash them. And what I had in mind here was to follow the cucumbers, and as right before they hit the water, I make a cut. So the part where she is taking the cucumbers to the water, that part I wanted to speed up. So again, we're going to speed up this to we have the liking of the speed which we add to the clip. This is not necessary 200%, it could be 300, 400 maybe, it all depends on your clip. As you can see here, we have some more movements to this clip, and what I wanted to do was to make an additional cut and then slow down this part right before the cucumbers get underwater. So we have a speed ramp at the beginning, or a speed change at the beginning, and then it slows down as the camera is changing direction. And when the camera comes to the position where it doesn't move anymore, I wanted to make another cut. And on this part, I wanted to speed it up to around 200% again to see what that looked like. And it turned out really great. Now we had 2 speed rampings, or 2 speed changes to one clip, which has the illusion of a speed ramping. And you can achieve this speed ramping illusion by having some movements to your clip and pre-plan what you want to film before you put it into LumaFusion. And if you do this, you can easily replicate the look of a speed ramp, even though speed ramping is not possible in LumaFusion to this point. Speed ramping will come in LumaFusion. LumaTouch has already made speed ramping, but the outcome of the speed ramping was not as they hoped. That's the reason why they haven't launched speed ramping ability to LumaFusion quite yet, but speed ramping will come in the near future. So that is the LumaFusion speed ramp. Well, there's nothing in LumaFusion that's called speed ramping, and not yet. They will add speed ramping in the future. As I mentioned, they already made speed ramping possible, but the outcome was not what they planned. So they still had to do some changes to the speed ramp method and the engine and all that, but it's coming in the future. So that's a really good thing, but at this time there's nothing called speed ramping. It's called speed changing, because you change the speed of the clip and you don't ramp it up like you do in Final Cut, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, whatever. Those programs can do speed ramping. In LumaFusion we have speed changes. I know we want to call it speed ramping, and if you do this technique where you prepare every single shot that you want to apply a speed ramp to, I believe you have the right to call it speed ramping, because there is sort of a speed ramping to it, because it goes from very slow to a little bit faster depending on the movement and the shots that you do before you edit the video in LumaFusion. So speed ramping is not possible. Creating the illusion of speed ramping is possible, and that's exactly what we did with this video, and it's the exact same thing that I've done with all the other videos that I applied speed ramping to in LumaFusion, but speed ramping is not possible, not yet. It will come soon, and I'm so excited to see that in LumaFusion as well, and I can't wait to do a bunch of videos letting you know the best ways to do speed ramping and all that regarding speed ramping. Doing these methods that you saw earlier in the video, the reason why I wanted to get them before we actually went into LumaFusion is because these tips are really crucial if you want to make a speed ramping illusion in LumaFusion. So I wanted you to see all those tips before we went into LumaFusion, so you could better understand how I made the speed ramping illusion in LumaFusion. So I hope you learned a lot from this video when it comes to pre-planning all your shots and the shots that you want to apply some speed changes to create the illusion of a speed ramp in LumaFusion. But before you go out and film that video to edit in LumaFusion, make sure to pre-plan your shots entirely for whatever effects that you want to apply in LumaFusion. And if you're in a place where there is a lot of people and you just don't want to look silly, there's nothing silly about it. I did this in front of, I don't know, hundreds of people when we went to Bergen here in Norway, and I got some of the shots which I can leave a link in the description as well. There were so many people there, and I just zoned out, and I had a mission to film what I wanted to film, and I just went with that. And I didn't even think of the people that was around me. Basically, they were just in the way, and I wanted to get rid of them, but what can you do? So let me know in the comment section below if you want some tips on how to achieve a better appearance on camera, how to not be scared of the camera, and how to maybe film in public, do some vlogging in public, and just get out of your shell when you want to make YouTube videos, but you're kinda a little bit scared maybe to go out and do some talking to the camera, film with the camera in front of a bunch of people, crowded places. It's nothing to be scared of. It's super easy. It's just unusual and you're not used to it, but it's nothing to be scared of at all. I was in the same position, and now I have zero problems at all going out and filming in front of a bunch of people, even if it's talking to the camera. The only thing which can be a little bit tricky is for me, English is not my native language and I usually speak Norwegian, and if I'm gonna vlog and then I say a bunch of stuff wrong all the time, it's gonna be a little bit of embarrassing. So but this is things that you will get used to, even though if you speak a different language. I wish sometimes I just wish that this channel was completely Norwegian. It would make things so much easier. But enough of that. If you want any tips on that as well, leave it down in the comment section below and I will see what I can do. But that's it for this video. Get out, make some awesome LumaFusion speed changes videos with the illusion of speed ramping. Make sure to upload them and let me know in the comment section below once you uploaded the video, and I will make sure to check it out and leave a comment, and if it's really good, I might consider subscribing as well. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that notification bell, give this video a big thumbs up if you learned anything from this video today, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace!